Hey, First Family, it is Pastor Dave here. Go ahead and get you a cup of nice something warm and yummy, and let's talk about Go and Tell. And while you do that, don't forget to like and subscribe to our Go and Tell channel here for FBCW and ring that notification bell so that you can get updated whenever we drop a video because videos are prone to post without warning. And today I want to talk to you about our upcoming back to school drive for the fall. I know kids just got out of school, but it's already time to talk about back to school, believe it or not. So we want to kind of walk through this today in this video, how we're going to do it and how you can participate either as an individual, as a family, a small group, or a ministry. And even as what we'll be doing church wide for back to school and in the long term. So very excited about this. But first, I want to show off my new Sin Relief swag. Shout out to Pastor Jeff for picking this up for me at the SBC last week. I always enjoy the latest Sin Relief t-shirt swag, so I appreciate him getting that. And I show that off to you not just because I'm a big fan of our partnership with Sin Relief, but because they play a big role in this year's back to school effort. I'll get to that in just a minute. First, let me tell you how this go around is going to be different from last year. Now, in the past, we've done volume. That's been the focus. Let's do as many kids, many backpacks as we can. And while there is some value to that, what we were seeing was that after the event was over and the families had come through to pick up their backpack, we really never saw them again. That was it. We were one of many places throughout the county that was doing these large-scale back-to-school fairs, rallies, drives, whatever you want to call them. And so as a church that is tasked to go and make disciples of all nations, we asked ourselves, how can we make this more about the long-term gospel impact in our community? And one of the ways that we can do that is to deepen partnerships with a school that allows us to then have access to not just the children, but the parents, so that we can build bridges through building relationships. And in those relationships, I have the opportunity to share the gospel. So many times in the past, partnering with a school meant doing things at the school, whether they be like good news clubs or things like that, student-led or volunteer-led, parent-led Bible studies, things like that. Those things are fine and great, but in the day that we live in today, a lot of times you don't have an open door at a school. You may have a principal or someone who is a believer or maybe just positively inclined towards Christians and the church, and they may give you access, but you also have those that are very irreligious and at times antagonistic towards the faith. And so that door is immediately closed. And so what you may have today as by way of open doors, once the administration changes out in the future, that door may be closed. So what we're doing is actually aiming through the school towards the relationships that feed into that school, rather than letting the school be the destination for our go and tell activities. And so we've been in a lot of prayer about this over the last several months. So we've been working to build a relationship with an elementary school here. It honestly was one that God just sort of dropped in our lap. It's not the one that in human reasoning makes the most sense, I'll be honest, because of distance, even though it still is in our area. But it's the one that God opened for us. And so wherever the Spirit leads, that's where we want to go. And so we're really excited about this. And through recent meetings with that school, they are allowing us to partner with them in some very special ways this coming school year. And that includes our back to school drive. So here's what we're going to do. This is where this is different. Rather than volume, focusing on more and more and more, we're going to focus on the needs of children and families that are the greatest there at that particular school. And so we asked the question, do you have families, do you have children that are often overlooked in things like back to school drives? Because the reality is not everyone who comes and gets free school supplies or a backpack actually needs it. Hey, I wouldn't mind free school supplies for my kids. But you know what? I am employed. I have money. I can afford that for my children. But you know what? Not everyone goes about that with integrity. Sometimes people do come through and they're just looking for a break and not having to fork out the money for school supplies. Obviously, there are people who do have needs, but what happens is that people who have the greatest need, number one, often can't get to where the school supply drive is being held. Number two, again, like I said, they get overlooked because supplies are already taken either by people who have a need or don't have a need at all. And so we said, who do you have in your school that needs school supplies? And they responded, we have 80 children who are in high need. And without help, they're not going to have the school supplies. And so we said to the school, let us take these 80 kids and we will make sure that they have a backpack and that they have school supplies for this fall to start the school year off with. And the school was like, fantastic. We would love that. And so what we're going to do, First Family, is rather than, again, volume, more, we're going to focus in to making sure these 80 kids have what they need. And so we have partnered with Send Relief for this project. And what Send Relief has done is that they have provided us with the backpacks. So that is taken care of. We don't have to spend money on that. You don't have to go out and buy a backpack. All we need are the supplies to go in the backpack. So let me tell you how this is going to work. Because we know these 80 kids specifically, in fact, we have their first names. We have their first names. We have what grade they're going into, and we have the school supplies for their specific class for the fall. That is amazing information for us to have to be able to put exactly what these kids need right into their hands for this fall. So we are going to be asking you as our church family to prayerfully consider, if you want to call it adopting a child. It's not my favorite term necessarily, but make a commitment to make sure a child gets the school supplies that they need. And that is going to kick off this Sunday, June 25th. You'll be able to find these backpacks and the commitment cards there in the lobby. You can pick it up, make your commitment, and begin filling that backpack. So let me walk you through what that looks like. So I have right here, this is one of the backpacks that Send Relief gave to us to provide to our church so that we could do this project for our community. And in the backpack, you will find a commitment card. And let me show you what this looks like. Let me turn it around the right way. But it looks like this. And so what you'll notice is that it has the name of the student, it has what grade they're in, and then it has the list of school supplies. This is a specific list. This is what his or her class needs for him to, or her to have for this fall. And then at the bottom, it basically is a statement of your commitment to providing this for the child, and also lets you know that you can put in a personal note of encouragement to the child. For example, this is Jack. Jack is going into kindergarten. How exciting for Jack and his family to be starting kindergarten. You can write Jack a personal note of encouragement, letting him know that his friends at First Baptist Woodbridge love him and are praying for him as he begins the school year. Simple as that. And then you take this commitment card. They're identical. okay? You print your name and put your phone number on both sides. Then you tear this off, you take one with you, and you give the other one to us so that we can keep up with who has committed to make sure Jack gets the school supplies that he needs. And so you take your commitment card, you take your backpack, and you have until July 30th to bring it back with the school supplies listed here on the card. We don't need more than this, and we definitely don't need less, just these. Now, once we get the school supplies back in the backpack that you've picked up, we will then also supplement that with some information about upcoming activities and events that are focused on children and families that will be happening throughout the fall and early winter here at our church, so that we can have ongoing potential opportunities to connect with this family. Now, for some people, I understand that this is very appealing. You can do it as a family, make it a family project. You can get with your small group, your Bible study fellowship, your particular ministry at church, and you can make sure a child or two has what they need. We need to get all 80 of these kids taken care of. But for others, I understand that you may feel led to just do something a little simple, a little more simple than that. And so we also will be providing this school supply list. These are specific items that have been requested by the teachers at this elementary school, as well as some general school supplies that any of the classes can make use of. And so if you'd rather not do the full commitment on a backpack, you can take one of these shopping lists, run to Walmart or wherever, Costco, and pick up school supplies and bring them and deposit them in our big wooden rolly cart thingamajig that we have, that will be in the church lobby for the next several weeks. Again, we want to bring those all in by July 30th. And we'll be taking all those, collecting them, and then we'll bring those to the school and let the teachers kind of put those in storage so they can use those throughout the school year. Now, what about getting the children their backpacks? Do I get to give my child the backpack? Well, the answer is actually no. One of the things that we want to do is we want to help preserve the dignity of those that we are serving. People in poverty, being poor and being in these situations is very difficult. And we don't want to rob them of their feeling of worth and value in the eyes of God and their dignity by kind of having a big to-do where we who have sort of give to them who have not. Rather, what we're going to do is we're going to collect the backpacks that you bring in, we're going to deliver them to the school, and the school will get those to the families that need them. They know exactly who they are, and they will gladly put them in that student's hand so they can have them for the fall. But remember, you are putting in a personal note of encouragement to the child, and we're going to be also including some other information about our church in the backpack. But it doesn't stop there. And praise be to God for that. He has opened up other doors for us with this particular school. And so here are some things that you can now join us in prayer about. Number one, we have been asked to consider doing an after-school program of some sort for this school. We don't know what that might look yet. We're praying and seeking the Spirit's guidance, but that will give us further connection with students and their families. So we are considering something potentially in the area of sports or the arts. Those are very easy things to introduce into a school. And so we're praying through that. We'll hopefully have more details sometime later in the summer of what that might look like. We'll also have potentially opportunities to do just some one-off events there at the school. Again, maybe sport or arts related, where we can do something utilizing their facilities or their campus in order to do something. We're also thinking long term and asking the question, what does it look like to be able to have off-campus activities and opportunities that allow for a continuation of touches and relationships beyond something like just the backpacks and the after-school program, because we need to be able to position ourselves as a church for long-term investment in the lives of people in our community. And so we don't want to look at one singular event that we get all hyped up for, spend a lot of money on. We see lots of people come through, and then that's it. We want to really invest time and efforts in people. And that means doing things a little bit differently, but doing things with a greater kingdom mindset. Because remember, we're called to make disciples. And disciple making doesn't happen overnight. It is a long-term investment in the lives of people as we seek to do that. So there you have it. That is how our back to school drive is going to work. I cannot wait to have these there in the lobby this Sunday morning between services. You can find me there. I'll have a table out, and then after this Sunday, if we don't get them all picked up, the backpacks spoken for, we'll still have them there. You've not missed your chance, but we want to get these committed to be filled quickly so that you have plenty of time to get the supplies. Again, we're giving you almost a full month here to do that. So I think that's plenty of time. And so we're excited to see where God takes this. We are trusting him as he moves us forward as a church, as we seek to make disciples as we go and tell.